Okay, so I need the molar mass to transform this into moles. And what is the molar mass for calcium carbide?
64.1.
I have 40 from calcium. Oh, not now. And then I have 2 carbons. Each carbon is 12.
24.
It's 24. So it is 64. Why hydrogen? I don't need hydrogen here. It's calcium carbide. And I will work everything in moles. So I have a molar mass of 64 grams per mole for calcium carbide. Yes? If I have 128 grams, I just multiply them by 1 mole, that equals 64 grams. And what is the amount of moles here?
128 divided by 64.
And this is 2.
2 moles of H2O and 1 mole of calcium carbide.
It's 2 moles of calcium carbide. Yes?
Then you multiply it.
This is the amount of moles I have. What is the mole ratio between these substances, Jimena?
2 to 1.
1, 2,
1, 2, 1, and 1.
1, 2, 1.
Where do we get this, Mauricio?
1, 2, 1, 1.
Where do we get the mole ratio?
Ahí está.
From.
Ahí arriba.
I want Mauricio to answer that. And then Francisco. What's the mole ratio, Francisco? Okay, so close your laptop, please. What's the mole ratio, Rodrigo?
The mole ratio is over there.
What is? I don't know. I am
1 to
asking,
2.
what is the
How
mole
many
ratio?
moles- How many moles you need of something to make it balanced? So if you need
Is the mole relationship or the mole proportion between two substances.
for it to be balanced.
And it comes from the coefficients of the balance reaction. Is that clear?
Yes.
So, if I have that 1 mole of calcium carbide needs 2 moles of water to produce 1 mole of calcium hydroxide, even when I don't have here any coefficient, I know this is a 1, this is a 1, and we also have a 1 here. Yes?
H2O que es
2
2 moles.
is the 2 moles that I got from from balancing the reaction.
This is you combine calcium carbide with
So
water.
if I have 2 moles of calcium carbide, how many moles of the other substances you need, or how many moles will be produced?
1 of each.
1 of each?
One of.
A ver, I have 2 moles of calcium carbide. I can do it mentally.
Okay, you're gonna make 2.
I can do it just
Entonces, 1, 2,
by
2,
watching.
4, 6, o sea, siempre va a ser un unloaded.
Yes.
You're asking about producing. If you have 1 calcium carbide which makes 1 and 1, 2 will make
2.
Will make
So
2.
it is very easy to be done just by observing the problem. But I will do the calculations you should do if the amounts were not such as exact as we have them here. So let's suppose that I will start with 2 moles of calcium carbide. And I will use the mole ratio between this and water.
Miss, me go to the restroom.
Yes?
Miss, ¿y cómo sabes cuál es el atomic mass de un polyatomic ion?
You got it in the periodic table.
Ah, cierto, suma.
So each mole of calcium carbide needs 2 moles of water. This is the conversion factor you will use in case you have another amount that was not so easy to be solved. So then you cancel the units here. Moles of calcium carbide with moles of calcium carbide. Your answer is in moles of water, and the answer is 4 moles of H2O.
O sea, aquí no se va a usar grams per mole.
No, because we're working in moles.
O sea,
The only grams per mole you use is to transform the grams of calcium carbide into moles, and then the rest of the problem can be solved by using just moles. You could use the grams per mole. It will take you longer. You will get the same result. Okay?
Miss, ¿qué es un mole?
What's a mole?
O sea, exactamente, ¿cuál es la
Is the
definición?
unit of measurement for the amount of a substance.
Pero es lo mismo 1 mole of water a 1 mole of calcium carbide.
Of course, well, 1 mole of whatever has 6.02 times 10 to the 23 particles of that whatever.
So all the moles are the same. If I have 1 mole of
In
water,
number of particles, yes.
but in density and mass and all that, they change because there's different
The mass changes because the particles of different things have different
But
masses.
they're the same amount of particles.
Yes.
Means mole, ¿qué significa? Molecule.
¿Mande?
Moles and molecules.
No. Moles are the containers that will have 6.02 times 10 to the 23 molecules or atoms or particles of whatever substance you have. Please do not get confused between moles and molecules. They are not the same.
Yo pensé que era una abbreviation.
No son lo mismo. Okay? Questions? No?
Yo.
¿Quién?
Yo.
Yes.
¿Para qué? No, you multiply 128 times 64.
I divided.
You divided. Why divided? No.
Why should I multiply? This is above, this is above, this is below. So you divide this by this.
Multiplicas por arriba y divides por debajo. Siempre.
Yes?
2 por 2.
It is not a rule of 3. It is using conversion factors.
And then what? You get 2.
I have 2 moles of calcium carbide. And then I use the 2 moles of calcium carbide to solve the rest of the problem. I will not need to make calculations, but I will do it here just to illustrate what you should do if you have a different amount. I will go back to the 2 moles of calcium carbide. And then let's get how many moles of calcium hydroxide, which will be the conversion factor between, or the mole ratio between.
Es lo igual, va a ser 1, va a ser 2.
We have 1 mole of calcium hydroxide
Va a ser igual a 2.
and 1 mole of calcium carbide. I cancel the units here, and my answer is what we already knew.
Because it's a
2
ratio
moles.
of 1 to 1.
Yes.
So it's a perfect ratio.
And the same will be done for acetylene.
Pero no entiendo cómo sacó el mole ratio.
With the coefficients from the balanced reaction, which will give you the mole ratio here. Let me.
¿Qué pregunta voy a hacer?
The mole ratio is this with this with this with this. 1 of these with 2 of these with 1 of this and 1 of this. That is the mole ratio. Yes?
Miss,
No questions about the mole ratio?
Miss,
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Miss, yo tengo una pregunta.
Yes.